Okay, so I was at the gym the other day, and I witnessed some guy doing what I think is one of the worst things you can possibly do. And what exactly is that? Well, between his sets, he was throwing punches. He was shadowboxing. Now, wait, just hear me out. I don't mean that shadowboxing is one of the worst things you can do. It's more about what it signified in this case. This guy was trying too hard to look cool. Now, not to say that anyone who shadowboxes in a public community center gym is trying too hard to look cool. I know some people, like people who are actual fighters, would be able to pull it off. But frankly, most people can't and don't. And this guy's shadowboxing wasn't bad, but he was also grunting a lot during his sets and was drawing attention to himself in a few other ways as well. It just seemed so painfully obvious that he was doing all this in hopes of making people think, wow, he looks cool. And I know what you're probably thinking. How could I possibly know what was going through his head? Well, I can admit that I have also occasionally thought of shadowboxing in the gym myself, and I can also admit that this thought stemmed from a desire to show off. If I were to do it, it would be because I wanted everyone watching to think I was cool, that I had skills, that I could fight. And I feel like this idea of showing off, of trying too hard, is something that I am very familiar with. Growing up, I was extremely concerned about having people think that I was funny. So much so that in grade 8, I was voted class clown in my high school yearbook. Oh, my mom was really not happy about that. Now, thankfully, I feel like I've grown up a lot since then and have become much less of a tryhard. But to be honest, it's still something that I occasionally find myself doing and being. Sometimes I'll take a joke too far because I still want everyone to think that I'm funny. Or if I'm kind of good at something and I'm in a public setting, I might start to show off a little bit because I want people to see that I'm good. I want people to see and think that I'm impressive. And I know that when this happens and when I do this, I'm doing a very bad thing. I'm trying too hard to be perceived as competent or skilled or funny or cool. And you know, I've found that doing this almost always backfires. Trying too hard to look cool always seems to have the complete opposite effect on people. Like, did I think, wow, that guy looks cool and probably knows how to fight, while watching him shadowbox in the gym? No, I thought he was just trying to show off and that he didn't look cool at all. And I know that others would feel the exact same way about me if I started shadowboxing in the gym, which is why I don't do it. Now, this is one very particular example, but I feel like this exact phenomenon manifests in so many different ways. Like, how many times have you seen someone trying to act tough, but not actually coming across that way at all? Have you ever actually thought someone blasting the music in their car looked cool? Didn't think so. What about the concept of a pick-me person? Someone who behaves a certain way for attention and validation, but who is subsequently and consistently viewed negatively. Or I'm sure you can think of someone in your life who's pretending to be overly successful when you know that that's not actually the case. The point is, I feel like it's really easy to tell when someone is trying too hard. It just feels performative and disingenuous. And awkwardly, it also feels like watching them broadcast their insecurities in public. I feel like it's hard to describe this exactly, but you know it when you see it. You know it when you see someone act or react in a certain way. A way that seems over the top. Like they're trying too hard to make things seem like there's something else. And I know for me, a lot of my behavior is shaped by what I think others will think of me. I don't want my actions to be perceived or reflect on me negatively. I want to be viewed as cool and competent without trying too hard to be. And there are things I'd kind of like to do sometimes that I just don't, because I know they'd be perceived poorly as tryhard. For example, I was in Thailand 2 years ago and I bought these pants. Do I think they look cool? Yes. Do I think I would look cool wearing them here on the streets of Canada? No, I know I would look like I'm trying too hard to look cool, and that it would have the complete opposite effect. And I feel like most people have learned this as they've grown up. Most people, but not everyone. With all of that, I think the real question is, how can you be perceived positively or cool without being a tryhard? And if I think of someone like that, someone who is effortlessly cool, I think of someone with quiet confidence, someone who knows what they're doing, but who doesn't feel the need to show it off unless it's the right time or place for it. Someone who doesn't ever try to be someone they're not. Someone who isn't concerned about looking cool, which in itself makes them cool. At the end of the day, I think everyone wants to be perceived positively, as competent, as coordinated, as cool. And I think it's a really interesting paradox that trying too hard to be perceived that way will often result in the opposite, whereas not trying at all might actually be the best way to make it happen. Something for all of us occasional tryhards to keep in mind. Anyway, that's it for today. If this resonated with you or you found this insightful, your thumbs up is very much appreciated. You may also enjoy this video, which talks about unexpected and extremely helpful ways you can help someone out with barely any effort on your part. Consider subscribing for more videos like this. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.